in Las Vegas. Greg Papa.
Guy Haberman, you're here.
What is it
You
like
made
for
it.
you to come here and have to work? Oh.
It's fun. I mean, we enjoy it, but it's a long week. We actually got a lot of work done before we took off. They had 3 good days of practice on Thursday, Friday. Saturday was really good practice, and then we flew on Sunday, got here Sunday night. They had a little bit of a walkthrough over at UNLV on Monday, and we're off Tuesday, and then 2 days of practice. They're over there right now on Thursday, and for me, I'm kind of back and forth. I got 2 hotel rooms. I got one downtown here, but on the Strip at the Luxor, and then I got one with the team in Henderson. So I've been kind of going back and forth. It's just, they're not that far as distance, but the highway takes forever to get to. Once you get into the Lake Las Vegas up there, it's a whole compound of hotels. So it's like 10 miles in there.
I know.
So it's a good 45 minutes to go back and forth. But at some point here, one more day on Radio Row tomorrow, then I shut it down and kind of lock in and get ready for the game.
What do you like a Super Bowl for you? For you,
What do you mean?
Well, you've done a lot of games.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of big games.
Right.
You are probably well past the point of nerves.
No, that's not true. But there's a certain calmness. I haven't been that nervous this playoff season. I don't know why.
But what are you nervous for? Them to win or lose, or?
Oh, no, I mean, the game scares me.
Yeah.
I have great respect for Kansas City. This is the best defense they've had since Marty Schottenheimer's teams in the 90s with Derek Thomas and Neil Smith and that group and Albert Lewis and all those corners. And I think I may be even better than those, and they go back to Hank Stram's defenses. But anyway, they're good. It's a good running game. It's the best personnel around Mahomes with the exception of depth at wide receiver. But Rashee Rice is a good player. They still have speed. McCole Harmon can run. I think he's in the doghouse. They may not use him much.
They only need to use him once or twice.
Well, after he fumbled in Buffalo, he fumbled twice in that game, and the second one went out of the end zone for a touchback. He hasn't touched the ball. So I think they maybe have lost confidence in him. But Marquez Valdez-Scantling, they gave him the one over the top to finish off Baltimore. Then obviously Kelsey. Their old line, they have issues to tackle. Their guards are good. Tooney won't play. And in the running game, Pacheco's the best they've had. Edwards-Helaire was good, and this will play. So, I mean, and the defense is the best he's had. The running game's the best he's had, and they're committed to the running game. And then you got to deal with him. So they concern me. But from my standpoint, I just get nervous. Like the first Super Bowl I did in San Diego with the Raiders, Super Bowl 37, it was a 3:18 kickoff or something, and we were in California, so the lighting was like this weird strobe lighting on the field. Like it was hard to see early in the game. Like what's going on? And then then we got the early pick on Brad Johnson. Reagan Upshaw hit Brad Johnson. Woodson intercepted the ball, took a lead on a field goal, and then Tampa came roaring back, and it got sideways. And the game in Miami, Niners had that game, Guy. It was 20-10 with 7:13 to play, and they run the wasp play, and all hell broke loose. So, no, they're just different games. These games are immortalized forever, no matter what. So all the great calls, whether it's Bob Fouts doing the 49ers game, or Don Klein, or Joe Starkey, or Lon, the calls live forever. Or Bill King with the Raiders. So you don't want to kick a Super Bowl call and have it be negative for your career.
Right.
So it's just, but I honestly, I'll see how I am Super Sunday. I've been kind of just enjoying the playoff ride, the Detroit game, the Green Bay game. Those were both games that wore me out. I mean, I did not see that kind of route to win, and they can't come from behind. Well, they did both those games. Brock at the very end, that great drive, and then the second half against Detroit. So, but no, it's a fun week. A lot of work, a lot of talking. Not only on my radio show for 4 hours a day, but I probably do 2 hours of interviews every day.
Do you worry about your voice for Sunday?
A little bit, yeah.
You stay out of loud restaurants or clubs?
No, I'm not doing that. But at some point I will.
Think so.
We had a hard night Monday night. We've picked our spots, but there's going to be a point where I'm going to shut it down and just get ready for the game.
And that point is Saturday,
definitely Friday night.
Sunday a.m.?
I think tonight I'm going to start to taper down.
Okay.
A lot of parties with the Niner people coming in on Friday.
Yeah.
But I'll go to bed early Friday night, and then, you know me, draw the drapes, sequester myself, I'll go to walkthrough on Saturday and then go to the game on Sunday.
All right. Brock and Mahomes.
They're not playing against each other.
They don't have to be equals, but
yeah.
I think we've seen one thing we have seen the 2 playoff games the Niners have played is Brock has been better than the other quarterback in the second half. He's much better than Love in the second half, and much better than Goff in the second half. Doesn't mean he himself has to make all the plays, but he has been the better quarterback in the second half of these 2 playoff games. And I do think from a personnel standpoint, I don't think it's out of the question because of the Niners personnel and the Chiefs. I don't want to say lack of elite personnel, but I do think the teams that give the Niners defense problems are the teams that have like 3 blue chip, fast weapons. I think because Kansas City's lacking a little bit in that regard, you're either going to get incredible Mahomes, right, because he's going to have to put him on his back, or he's just not going to be able to make maybe as many plays as the Niners make. What do you think?
Well, I like their personnel. They still have Travis Kelce.
I know, and
they
Rashee
use 3
Rice
tight ends a lot. Rashee Rice is like Debo. It's a lot of run after catch. It smokes.
Only 2 guys in the league's averaging over 8 yards yak per catch. Those
right,
2.
Debo and Rashee.
Yeah.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling, I know he's had some monumental drops this year, but the first play of the second half against Buffalo, they're down at halftime. They put him in the slot and they run a slot fade against Johnson. Buffalo's all-pro, second-team all-pro nickelback, second to McDuffie with Kansas City. He runs a beautiful slot fade. He does bobble the ball a little bit with his gold gloves, but he caught it, and it got them going. And then at the end of the Baltimore game, they hit him over the top. He's got speed.
Catch.
He's got speed. McCole Hardman has extreme speed. The fumble in Buffalo, he had 2 of them. He may be in the doghouse. He may be locked in and not coming out. Is Sky Moore going to play in this game? What are they doing with him? I don't think he is, but why do they bring him back to practice? So is that just to give Steve Wilkes another hour of tape to watch on Sky Moore, maybe 2? Because go back to the Super Bowl last year, and Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore running those China routes, those misdirection routes, won them the Super Bowl, those rub routes. Is Toney going to play in this game, or is he in the doghouse? I don't know. But they're going to put 5 eligibles out, whether it's 3 tight ends or 3 receivers. You got to deal with 87. And on third down, you better double him, you better reroute him, you better jam him. But he's hard to get to.
Yeah.
Because they bunch him, they stack him, they move him, and they know they want to get him a free release. The guy's great. And the touchdown pass he threw to Kelce against Kyle Hamilton on that first drive in Baltimore, that wasn't a back shoulder, it was a back hip. It's like, how do you do that? The way he dropped down to make the throw and the way Kelce caught it on his back hip, it's not up here. It was like, how do you defend that? You can't, unless you just grab him and hold him on the turn.
Right.
So he has weapons, and then he's got him. As far as Brock, he's going to have to figure out Spags post-snap. And to me, the secret to the game is pre-snap. They like to run. They play at the most press man coverage in the league, 81% of the snaps. And they play a lot of 2-shell defense. So most snaps, it's 2-man, where it's 2 deep, man under. So is Spagnuolo going to play 2 safeties deep in this game? And when I'm calling the game, I'm looking for those 2 safeties. And mainly Justin Reed. Is he going to come down, number 20? Is he going to blitz? He's good. He's a good blitzer. I think he's a better blitzer than he is cover guy. So Brock's looking at that guy. And Kyle's call, if they play 2 safeties high and they have 2 outside corners, do the math. Are they gonna stop the run with a 7-man front? We're going to run on them. If they bring that safety down, then it's an 8-man front. Now you got to make a call. Go back to the Minnesota playoff game in January of 2020, the 19 year. It was Harrison Smith was that safety, number 22 for the Vikings. Mike Zimmer's the head coach, defensive play caller. Tim Ryan and I were watching every snap on radio. If 22 comes down, 22 would not come down. He stayed high. I said, they're going to run it. 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 And it happened after the Eric Kendricks interception with Jimmy. So everybody was saying he lost confidence. If you want to stop Kyle Shannon's running game, a 7-man box, they're going to shred you. And they can run at Chris Jones. You want to run at 95. You think Chase Young has some bad tape There's some just absolutely alarming lack of effort plays from Chris Jones. He just gives up. You double him. If you don't think he can make the play on the backside, he just stops.
Yeah.
In the run game, you can't stop.
Yeah.
In the pass game, he puts his hands up and tries to block the ball. So they got some areas, but I think the first thing you look at, how does Brock, and that we don't have a kill call at the line. It's a can and an Oscar. Can is go to the second play. Oscar, to me, is usually a run play that you're going to flip from one side to the other, but it could be a run to a pass or a pass to a run. It's the second call. But and we'll see if TV does a good enough job showing that safety. They don't always show the two safety, but when you're watching from Allegiant, just watch where number 20 is. If he comes down, is it very simply we throw it? And if he's up high, do we run it?
All right, there you go. That's what to watch for.
It's the Guy and Papa show.
Great to see you,
We're
Papa.
good to see you, man. Thank you.
All right.